With me right now is Jose Vergara, one of the directors with the El Toro Water District. And welcome, sir. Nice to have you on. And today we are talking about a project overview of the Delta watershed area. And I know you and I have talked about this before, how they've been looking at this for a long, long time. And it seems like they finally got a plan in place.
That's correct, Ken. Thank you for having me here today. Hopefully, I will have some good news for the region, for our customers. The Bay Delta is basically the area where we get our water from the State Water Project. It's the confluence of the two rivers, and it goes to the ocean. So we have the pumps. The pumps of the State Water Project aqueducts are in the south.
Right.
So that area called the Delta is indeed an environmental rich place and has been deteriorating for many years due to the increase of human activity. And the idea behind these two projects that the governor has done is to protect ecosystem and then to allow the water agencies to build a facility that will convey water without interfering with the Bay Delta. That is what we call the California Water Fix, and has been in the process for 15 years. I had the pleasure of working on that when I was at Metropolitan, and really it didn't change much. Originally, in the 1980s, the idea was to build a peripheral canal, and then it was put to vote, and people didn't approve it in the 80s. And that channel, or that canal, was going to have a 22,000 cubic feet per second of capacity.
And this canal would have been up in the Delta?
Around the Delta.
That's okay.
But that's too late now. Wasn't approved. Now it's already built houses, so you cannot build the peripheral canal. So the best solution that we came up with 15 years ago was to build the two tunnels. And the idea was to not 22,000, was probably too big, but a good size would have been 15,000 cubic feet per second. However, when the environmental concern, the EIR came out, we settled in having 9,000. That's the minimum lower that we can go in order to maintain the reliability. Now, the California Water Fix is not bringing new water. It's guaranteeing that we are not going to lose the water that we have receiving right now. And also, it will avoid the water, when it rains a lot, the water goes to the ocean. It will allow us to capture that water before it enters the Delta. It's not that we're going to be sucking the river dry. No, it's going to be only the excess water that we're going to be capturing.
So let's look at the next slide here, the Delta risks, and these are various different things that have been happening, and you know, we can see here, one of them is subsidence, and we've seen this. I can remember one of the programs we showed a while back, Huell Hauser, California's Gold. He did a whole water series years ago, and I remember him walking on the Delta looking at something just like this.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
The Delta is made of islands.
Yes, yeah.
But the berms are higher than the island. So if the berms are destroyed, the water will inundate those islands.
Yeah.
And that is the big problem, because if there are several seismic faults going through the area. If that ever happens, the water that we get will get salty. We will have to treat the water, and that will add so much. So that's the problem. So we also have the rising of the sea level because of climate change. That is also going to be addressed. Plus, the Endangered Species Act create regulations to protect 4 kinds of species that are existing there. One of those, the Delta smell, is an endangered species. And there are limitations. The regulation, for example, require that we cannot pump when the fish is present. And how do we know when the fish is present? Usually when there is turbidity in the water. Why? Because the fish likes to hide in the turbidity to avoid the predators.
Yeah.
But when that turbidity happens? When it rains. And when it rains is when all the water goes to the ocean because we cannot pump it.
Yeah.
These two tunnels will allow us pump the water before it gets to the delta. We're talking excess water. So we're not taking any new water, just the excess water. That means that we will be able to fill our reservoirs here and to take a reserve. In fact, we may have to build more storage in Southern California to be able to store the water.
Very good. All right, we'll go on to the next slide here, and this is kind of a pie chart here.
Yeah, but I was saying before, people say we're sucking the Southern California is taking all the water. No, half of the water that goes to the delta goes to the ocean.
Right.
And some of the other uses you can see, the metropolitan area is only getting 4%.
Yeah.
And we are going to be paying $10.8 billion for a project, for that little thing.
Wow.
So that's how important this water project is for the economy, not of Southern California, but for California Toro. Because this project also produces water, or delivers water to the Central Valley, to the farmers.
So are they paying for it as well?
At this moment, the farmers, there are two projects. Let me clarify because it's clear. From the delta, we got two aqueducts. One that is used for the water district, or by the water district, and then the other one was built by the state, by the government, federal government, for the farmers.
Okay.
So their water is cheaper because the capital was paid by the feds. And they have a priority system that doesn't allow the farmer, the water district, to pay for the water. So they have problem. So that's the reason we decided, or the urban water district decided, let's pay for the whole thing. So Metropolitan Water Board last week, 2 weeks ago, approved that they will pay for the whole thing.
Okay.
What happened is they will secure those water rights and they will deal with the needs of the farmers later on. This is a visual of what the project is going to be. At one time, before the metropolitan approval, they considered the possibility of maybe building one tunnel. The one tunnel is going to be 6 cubic feet per second, 6,000 cubic feet per second. The other one is going to be 3. They said maybe if we stage in the kind of a phases, but this kind of project, the disturbance is so big that you cannot go back for a second time and disturb the whole thing again to build another tunnel. Right. So you have to take advantage of what you're doing right now and build the two of them. Yeah. And that's the reason that the Metropolitan Water District Board made the decision, we're going to go for it. And they decided to approve the whole project. Okay. And this is the good news, that we are going to be. Now, the question that I'm going to be asking then in the next slide is, well, what does it mean for me as a customer? Okay. So
this is the what you were telling me about before, the reliability, supply, and these other things as well.
Exactly. We're not getting new water. We are avoiding losing more water. And only when there is excess water coming in a big rain, we take that extra water on the tunnels and bring it down. Okay. So the environment is going to be protected even better than before. So one of the things that we'll have is the economy and everything that happened here in the South, which maintains the vitality of the state, is going to continue if we have water. If we don't, no. Now, in the next slide, we talk a little bit about what is going to be the impact to the ratepayer. And we're looking at this. Metropolitan is going to be committing, if we look at the yellow column, which is the one that was approved. The blue was not approved. The blue was not approved. It was going to be built in phases, but the Metropolitan approved the full project, which means an investment of $10.8 billion for the region.
And how long will this take?
It's about 15 years.
Wow.
So some of us will see it, some of others won't. Yeah. But what we were thinking is the impact, the maximum impact used to be if the farmers pay their share, the average household will see an increase on $2.40 per household. Now, because Metropolitan is picking a bigger tab, the maximum exposure is going to be $4.80 per household. This is average, meaning this is for a water district that gets half of the water from Met and half of the water locally.
Right.
El Toro gets about 80% from Met. So in El Toro, it will be probably a little higher than $4.8, maybe in the range of 5, 6. It's approximately. Again, those numbers are all estimates. The actual cost will be determined, within the next 15 years.
Okay. All right. Very good. And so we'll see. It's going to take 15 years, though.
Yes, but the idea is that it's approved. Governor Brown has really done an excellent job. This has been his project because he realizes that we need this project. So he wants to have this as a legacy for California, to build a water solution that will protect the economy, the jobs, and in general, the welfare of the state of California.
All right, very good. Thank you for the update. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Ken. Pleasure being here.
And always good to see you and the folks from the Water District. And we'll see one of you folks in about a month.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Take care,
it was a
Jose.
pleasure.
Always good to see you.
Okay.
We'll be right back.